So, I'm Daysha. Um, I've been in care since I want to say like somewhere between 5 and 7. Cause like I remember when I first went in, I was like in a play, and so like I got moved the day of my school play, and so like it was really weird. And I just got my hair braided by my mom, and then like my foster parents took my hair out. It was really weird. So I was like in elementary school, and so I've been in 7 placements, but I've only been in foster homes for a total of 3 years and 10 months. So like it hasn't been. It feels like a lot longer though, because like in between each placement, like I always had like a caseworker, like somebody would always come visit me, like even if I was back at home, and so like I've always had a caseworker since I was for like 10 years.
This one I wrote, "It's not your fault and don't be ashamed because you couldn't control what happened, no matter how much you wanted to or wish you could have. At the same time, try not to hate your parents because I hated my mom for a lot of the time, and then I took a step back and realized that she maybe had some unresolved issues of her own because she was adopted when she was younger and all this other stuff. And like, but I don't want that to be a reason for, like, I don't want it to like excuse the things that our parents have done wrong, because like it's not an excuse, but at the same time I want it to like sort of like, I want people to realize like it's not your fault and maybe there's other things going on. So like maybe it's not just, oh, my parent doesn't love me or they don't care about me, because it's not always that. I think I would also say, like, take your time and like be understanding with your foster families, because they don't always understand what you're going through, and so you don't really want to force it onto them and like expect them to know like, oh hey, I'm gonna be moody this day because I'm going through this, or oh hey, I just went to court, so like I saw my mom for the first time in 6 months, so I might have an attitude for the rest of the night. Like, I feel like you should be patient with the people around you. It took me a really long time to get to this point, like, because I was in a residential facility for 6 months, and before that I was like in a really bad place. Like I wasn't okay mentally. Have I had and still do have like a bunch of like mental things going on that like I'm not completely good with, but like I'm dealing with. And so like I feel like while I was in Columbus, I like therapy and everything showed me like, well hey, maybe somebody's going through stuff that you know nothing about. And like being on a floor with 12 other girls for 6 months is like you see all the other things that they're going through, and like, okay, well maybe there is other things going on. So I feel like being around those 12 other girls for 6 months and like talking to the adults around me and just like being able to sit and think without like having to worry about school or being sent to a hospital, because I was already there. So like I couldn't do anything that would get me like sent anywhere. So like I feel like I just had time to think and realize like, hey, and plus I also found out some things. Like I found out some things about my mom and like her when she was younger, and like some things that she went through, because I got to talk to my aunt a little bit. So it's just, I guess everybody has their own point. Because for my sisters, like she never had any, like she's always been where I'm at. Like she doesn't have any like resentment towards my mother or anything. Like she loves her more now than she did when we lived with her. So like I feel like it's just depends on who you are and like how you think. Don't force a relationship. I feel like in a lot of the homes that I've been in, they've like wanted to like force their like affection on me, and like I feel like that's a good thing, because I didn't really have a lot of that growing up. So like I feel like I needed it, but at the same time I didn't really want it at the time. So I feel like them forcing it on me put more pressure on me to like be like their daughter when I wasn't. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like if a relationship happens, that's great, but like don't force. I feel like it's not okay to force, oh, I'm your mother. Like don't try to be a replacement parent, because not everybody needs that. Some people just need somebody to be there to like talk to them and like just like be there for them, like support. They don't always need like a new mother or a new father. So I feel like that was one of my big things. So like patience and understanding and like just patience, because like things take time. Like I'm 18 now, and it's taken me 10 years to like fully understand everything that's been going on with me, and I had to go to the hospital twice and go to a residential facility for that to happen. So like I feel like you just have to be patient and be understanding and just take things slow. I feel like a lot of times just talking, but I feel like support comes in more ways than just like, oh, talking to somebody or being there for somebody. A lot of my support, just because of like my background and everything, a lot of my support came from like people talking to me and like calming me down and like helping me breathe when I was having like a really bad like breakdown or panic attack. but also I had support where, like, I wasn't okay mentally and I wasn't safe for myself. I wasn't safe with being around myself, so they put me in a hospital, and that was the support that I needed at the time, so that's what they gave me. So, like, I've had my therapist, my psychiatrist, foster families support me by putting me in the hospital and, like, saying, we know you don't want to be here and you're here involuntarily, but this is what's best for you, so this is what we're going to do, like, even if you don't like it. So I feel like that was a really big support, and I appreciate that a lot, because talking wasn't helping, obviously, because, like, we had talked for as long as I can remember until it got to that really bad point. So I feel like just whatever support is needed at the time would be great, whether it be talking or, like, taking yourself out of the situation or going somewhere so you can be safe, or just, I don't know, just being there for someone.
It was not the worst, because, like, while TV shows do portray it to be like, oh, it's this terrible thing, well, for some people it might be a terrible thing. Like, they might not get put in great foster homes, and they might, like, have all these other issues, but for me, it wasn't the worst thing ever, because, like, I did get a lot of help with, like, therapy, which I thought I didn't need help with, but I got therapy help, and it wasn't, like, I just stressed about how is my mom going to pay for this, because, like, it just wasn't an issue. I feel like foster care is really generous, because, like, you guys help people with, like, college, and you guys help with finding homes, and, like, for kids that don't have parents that are able to provide homes or provide a house and food and clothes, you guys are able to do that. Like, you guys have a room full of school supplies right now. Like, I feel like it's just really generous. Like, 1,000% I would tell them to stay in, because, like, if you don't stay in, like, then you have to figure out, how am I going to find a job? How am I going to get this apartment? With foster care's help, they can help you find jobs. They can help you figure out how to get an apartment. Like, they can help you with all that stuff. And, like, me being in collaborative care, like, I'm getting help with, like, putting college together. Like, I would have been so lost, like, putting my college applications in and, like, figuring out FAFSA and all that. But, like, I had an IL worker and GAL and, like, all these other people that helped me do that. So, like, I feel like if I were a teen that wanted to leave care just because, oh, I'm 18 and I don't want to do this anymore, I've been dealing with this for 10 years, and, like, I'm still doing it. Like, there's benefits to it. It's not just, like, oh, these people are going to be telling me what to do, so I don't want to do it. It's, like, they're helping you out and helping you grow and learn things. So, like, I feel like if you want to leave, you shouldn't. Because it's not going to benefit you, and you're going to be really mad at yourself in, like, 10 years when you're like, oh, my gosh, I'm homeless, and I have no money. Like, I feel like it'll help in the long run. I meditate, like, in the morning and at night before I go to sleep, or, like, just throughout the day. Like, I'll just stop and, like, meditate for, like, 5 minutes, and, like, then I'm good. If I feel like I'm getting anxious, I'll, like, either call my best friend or I'll listen to some music, like, calm myself down. I like napping. Napping's good. It's really fun. Like, taking a good nap. But my naps are, like, 5 or 6 hours long, so I don't think it's a nap. So, sleeping's good. And then, like, I've done this a few times, too. Like, sometimes you just have to cry. Like, sometimes crying isn't a bad thing. I feel like if you've had enough, because, like, I'm the type of person where I let things build up, and then, like, once, like, one thing happens, like, everything just busts open. Like, I'll cry about things that happened 6 months ago just because I've been holding it in so long, because I don't like to cry. But, like, sometimes crying is really good, so if you need to cry and, like, just sit in your bed and have a crying sesh, you gotta do that. Like, it'll help you. You'll feel better afterwards. Like, you'll feel relieved. Like, you'll feel like weight's been taken off your shoulder, and then, like, you'll wait 6 months and you'll cry again, because, like, you've held up everything for another 6 months. Like, yeah. Or, like, reading's also really good. I've gotten into writing, so I've been thinking about writing about, like, my time in foster care and, like, maybe doing that. So I feel like writing's good, watching TV's good, going on a walk. If you feel safe enough to go on a walk. Don't go on a walk if you don't feel safe, because, like, I've done that before and then I end up in the hospital. Go on a walk if you feel safe.
And your art?
Oh, yeah, I do that too. I do a lot of art. I paint, I like to color. I actually just did this one painting about this, but, like, I started it, like, 2 years ago when I wasn't very good, and then I finished it just 2 weeks ago. But it's, like, I started just put, like, everything I was feeling on this big canvas, and, like, just show myself, like, where I've been, like, my lowest points, and I know, like, I don't want to go back there. It's sort of just like a big old gallery of everything that's ever gone wrong in my life. So, that's fun. Painting's fun.
You've won some awards too, right?
Yeah, I've done that. That's happened. I've won some awards. It's fun doing that. Okay, so, like, in the past year and a half, I've gotten into really, like, being mindful of, like, your surroundings and your emotions and, like, things like that, because, like, I still do have my, like, breakdowns. you talked to me on the phone before, like when I was like mental breakdown, like having, like I'm gonna pass out because I'm freaking out so bad. Like I still have those times, I still have those moments of like I'm not happy. I don't feel comfortable like with myself right now. So like I've had to sit down and reflect, and I feel like being mindful about that has like helped me a lot. It's kept me out of dangerous situations. It's kept me from making decisions that I would like regret in the future. So like I feel like being mindful and like taking things slow and not just like rushing into things is best, because like I'm one of those people where like I like to rush into things fast. Like once I figure out something needs to be done, like I like to get it done. If I have a decision I need to make it now. Like I've been working on that and like slowing it down and thinking about things, thinking out my options and like the best route to do things, because like I feel like that like one moment can make or break your future. Because like if I would have never gotten better, I don't think I would be sitting here right now. If I would have never like been a role model, like if I wouldn't have got better for myself, I wouldn't be able to be a role model, as some people like to call me. Like one decision can like affect your future, I think. It's like that one moment. So I feel like I don't want to like mess up that one moment and then like I make a terrible decision that's going to affect me in the future. Right. I feel like you guys do great now, honestly. like at first, me and Denise, we didn't get along very well just because like I didn't like some of the things she was telling me, but at the same time, like she was doing her job and that benefited me in the end, because like now I'm in this place where I'm happy and I'm good. I feel like one of the big things that like I've struggled with over the years is like I've felt like I didn't really have, well not now, but like in the future, I mean in the past, I felt like I didn't have much control over my own life. And so like I'd be like, well, what's happening? Or like I didn't have enough information. I felt like I was in the dark about things that were happening within my life. Mm-hmm. So like, I feel like one of the only really thing I would say is like make sure the child has more information about what's happening. So like instead of just speaking to the foster parent about, oh, this is what's happening, or like just speaking to the parent, like tell them like, oh, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going to happen, these are your options, like sort of give them a way to have some control in their life. Because I feel like that's, as foster, like for me personally, I don't want to speak for all foster kids, but like for me personally, one of the big things I really wanted was control, and I never really had that. Mm-hmm. So like, because I've always been like a pretty independent person, when I lost control of like my decisions, like wasn't able to figure things out, I feel like that stressed me out a lot more. And so I feel like just being able to have control and making decisions of my own life helped a lot. I feel like that's about it, really. Everything's pretty great. Things are great. I appreciate you all. I don't know, I feel like I have all these traits that I wouldn't have had, or like I have like these certain outlooks that I wouldn't have had if I were still like living with my mom, or like if I were still in the situation I was in before. So like being in different homes has taught me like how to be open-minded and like how to sit down and like think about things before I act. And honestly, if I were still with my mom, I probably would be like in a lot of trouble with like, I'd probably be a criminal for it, like honestly. Probably be doing drugs, but like I'm not doing that. Like because of me being in the foster care system, I'm like 1,050 billion jillion% against drugs. And like the way I look at things, I guess, feel like I've learned a lot. Like I've learned what my career interest is, being in foster care. Like I've had so many psychiatrists and therapists that I'm like, oh hey, I really like the way, like I really like what you guys do. Like you guys help save people's lives before they get like really depressed, or like before they get like really suicidal or anything. So like I want to do that. So like I found out that I want to be a psychiatrist. So that's what I'm going to school for. I don't know. I feel like it's made me this role model that I am. So I'm proud of myself. I feel like I've grown a lot despite everything that's happened. I feel like I've like been able to reflect a lot and really just like reflect on my relationships with people and reflect on how I let people treat me, because I feel like I was letting my mom treat me a way that wasn't okay, and I just went with it. And like now I'm like, no, you're not gonna treat me like that, and if you're gonna continue to want to treat me like that, then we just won't be friends. Like we won't talk.
It's a brand new day. For the first time in such a long, long time, I know I'll be okay. best part for last. And most stories have a hero who finds you make your past your past. Yeah, you make your past your past. It's a brand new day. The sun is shining. It's a brand new day. For the first time in such a